Who's the actual client for you though at our RBC? Is it the operator? Is it the manufacturer? All the above? Who all are you talking to?
So we have been servicing the OEMs in this space for a very long time. Overall, I mean, really our objective is to solve problems in the mining industry. So we hear a lot of the problems, at the end user, at the mining level, and how those get fixed. We don't really care so much. It's all about solving problems and bubbling that up to getting the right solution in that piece of equipment.
So you're dealing directly with the mine itself, like the mine operators themselves and the contractors at the mine and that sort of thing?
We don't sell directly to mines, no.
No, okay. So just again, just for the clarity then, who's getting actually buying the product then for the mine?
So, I mean, we sell all throughout the chain, I suppose, but
right.
But we really sell mainly our on the RBC side. Our biggest customers are the OEMs themselves.
Okay, when you say solving problems, and we're going to jump in to the Dodge side as well. But what are some of the common problems that people are coming to you with? Because one of those things is like everybody knows what a bearing is, everybody sees one. But what do you run into, especially in the mining sector, which is, of course, as everybody knows, so rugged, so hard on everything? What is sort of some common ones you hear?
It's kind of evolving, I'd say, or at least the technology is evolving. So, of course, the most obvious is contamination, right? How do you keep the bearings clean? How do you keep the grease in the bearings, the contaminants out of the bearings? To that end, we do a lot of different sealing technology, a lot of enhanced lubrication features, that kind of stuff. That's evolved over the years too, that we, today we're doing a lot more of maintenance-free bearings, stealing really some technology from our aerospace side and doing maintenance-free. So picture a haul truck running around, and rather than 30 or 40 different grease points or an auto lube system with all the injectors on it, we can outfit a truck with bearings that don't require any grease anymore.
So it's not an automatic lubrication system. It's just not. Is it a greasing system, or is it they don't require the grease at all? I all of a sudden feel way behind on the technology. Yep.
Well, that's where we feel that's probably the future. It is bearings that don't require any grease. So we use a liner system, as we call it. We basically it's a composite system with the lubrication built right into it that we bond into the bearings in the raceway. And they're good for the life of the bearing, good for the service intervals of the vehicle. What is the
lifespan of those compared to your standard, I guess, greasable bearing? What would be? I don't know what the terminology is.
So I mean, it's hard to say in the sense that different positions have different life cycles. Our bogey is always trying to make it to that maintenance interval, whether that's 10,000 hours, 15,000, whatever, on that truck, but generally speaking, I guess the way I always explain it, right? If you've got a steel on steel bearing, if you can keep it properly greased, it's a good wear couple. The problem is in a mine site, right, it's often not the case, right? It's getting contamination, it's getting overloaded, and the grease is getting squirted out. Or even in some of the cases, it's just the position. Picture a steering bearing on a haul truck, right? As you're driving down through that mine site, that whole truck is just kind of bouncing and gyrating around, and all the grease moves out of the load zones in that bearing.
Right.
And so when you get to the end and you got to make that turn, there's no grease in that load zone anymore. So that's where those bearings suffer from, a shortened life from what they theoretically should have. Whereas some of these different technologies allow that grease to stay there, or the maintenance-free ones, you don't need that grease. That lubricant's bonded in the raceway, so we get a lot more life out of it.